Hi there. Welcome to a new episode of Branding with Friends, the show where branding meets key business topics. Here you're going to learn tips straight from the experts on everything from inclusivity to public relations, even to authentic marketing. We're going to focus on what you can do with these topics, plus the power of branding to attract your ideal clients. I'm your host, branding expert Annie Franceschi of Greatest Story Creative. I help service business owners tell their story and show their value through clear messaging and consistent branding. I'm also a former Disney storyteller, professional speaker, and the author of 2 best-selling books, Establish Yourself and Permission to Try. And today, I'm really excited to introduce you to one of my new friends in the business world. If you are curious about creative and profitable ways to offer your services, your coaching, or your consulting, you are going to love today's episode. My guest today is the incredible Sarah Masci. Is it Masci? Is that the right way to pronounce it?
Sarah Masci. Yep.
Masci?
Yep.
Okay, Masci. I always get like butchering of Franceschi. So Sarah Masci, I'm so glad you're here, Sarah. Sarah is the CEO and founder of Day Rate Mastery, an online company that teaches expert service providers how to work less and make more with a streamlined VIP day business model. Years of running a traditional design business filled with a lot of scope creep, inconsistent timelines, and overlapping client projects eventually resulted in burnout, becoming the catalyst that sparked Sarah's desire to create a better process. And since its inception in 2019, Day Rate Mastery has helped thousands of freelancers rediscover joy in their work and the freedom that they've lost along the way. Who doesn't love that? Sarah, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Annie. I'm excited to get to know you today and share what I can about getting started with VIP days.
Yes, I love this topic. We were looking for the absolute right person. And I think with the work that you've done with Day Rate Mastery, you are the right person to be talking about this topic, VIP days. So for those of us who don't know what a VIP day is, tell us, let's clearly define the term. We don't want to be jargoning here. So VIP day, that sounds great. Do we get a spa mask? How does it work?
Yeah. So funny story. When I first started offering them back in 2018, I did not call them a VIP day either. I actually first referred to them as an intensive, like a design intensive or a one-day intensive. Later on, a lot more designers and creatives were calling them day rates. And then most recently, everyone's calling them VIP days. But essentially, it's the same thing, whether you call it an intensive, a VIP day or a day rate or even a VIP experience, but it's the practice of like working with one client for typically one day for a premium price point and getting a lot more done in one day that you would normally spread out over 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or even several months. So it's really the idea of compressing your consulting or your services or whatever it is that you do for your client into that tighter timeline, really like kind of banging out as much as you can in one day and having like a significant transformation for your client for that premium price point.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about VIP days or intensive, my mind was sort of blown, right? Because I primarily do branding services. I write coaches and consultants, clear messaging, consistent visuals, website. That process can take like 14 weeks to do all of those things I just talked about. And that's we're off to the races. I was like, it can't be done. It can't be done in a VIP day, but I have proven myself wrong. I have offered days that are creative focused. So days that are like knocking out multiple pieces of creative for a client, but I've also done days, and this is really where I've grown my business coaching, is doing coaching days. So moving from just an hour session where we can't get really as much done to a VIP day of 2 2-hour sessions and a follow-up call. And clients love it because they're actually getting more done. They're busting more of their branding and business bottlenecks in what I call a magic strategy day. So I was so thrilled that you teach this. And I know you want to teach all of us and those of us that are watching Branding with Friends, how to get started with them. So I'm assuming a lot of us, people who are going to watch this episode, have never even heard of this or have never thought that it could apply to their business. So I think that's a perfect lead into our tips today. If you've never watched Branding with Friends, we're going to do we're going to do 3 tips today from Sarah about how to get started with VIP days. And she's also brought along a free gift for you. So what we're going to do is first 2 tips, your free gift, and then we're going to do that last tip right at the end to make sure that you get all the value you can from today. So with that being said, where should we get started? What's the best place, Sarah?
Okay, so yes, first of all, to know that you are a good candidate for VIP days, you should be doing well. Honestly, I have found very few types of businesses that cannot do some sort of a VIP day or intensive experience. And like you said, Annie, like yours is 2 2 hour sessions. It doesn't have to be an 8 hour day. So like mine is a 7 to 8 hour design intensive, but we have clients and students who do all different things, kind of ranging, down up to a week. But what you want to really think about is, are you in a position now in your business where maybe you're doing one-on-one coaching, maybe you have a group coaching program, maybe you have a course, or maybe you're doing done for you services. Those are kind of the main categories. Um, are you at a point where maybe you've got a group coaching program and you have clients who actually want more from you? They want more access to you. They want your brain on their business one-on-one. And so they're asking, like, what is that next level beyond the group coaching program? Can you work one-on-one with someone in a 1 day timeline or like a 1 day format and help them, do even more than you can do in that group coaching program? Maybe you want to create a coaching program, but you don't quite feel ready. And it could be because you're new and you're still trying to figure out your own process and your own frameworks and your own structure and how you run your business and how you help your clients. So a VIP day is a great way to help you practice your
Yeah.
methods. You practice your methods one-on-one with people and you say, I'm going to sell 5 VIP days and we're going to try to accomplish this, 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 and this. And then after you do 5 of them, now you have a lot more clarity on what works and what doesn't work that you can then package up into a course. And a lot of my students are in that boat. They come to me doing one-on-one services and they
Yeah.
want to create a course, but in order to create that course or even to raise their VIP day rates, they need to practice out their methods and prove that it works with that one-on-one format. So this is another great way to offer a VIP day. And then of course there are the done for you service providers who are just completely maxed out on client work. That was me. That was my situation. The first time I offered it, it was not planned. There was no forethought on, oh, I think I'm going to start offering VIP days. It was a matter of being burnt out, stretched too thin, working with way too many clients one-on-one, and clients coming at me from all directions asking for my help. And at one point, I just kind of broke down. I was like, I cannot take another hour to write another proposal, to start another project. So when this client came to me and said, I need this, 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 and this, how much is it going to cost? I said, how about you just pay me for a day and I'll do all of it in 1 day? And it made
There you
it
go.
so much easier. I didn't have to do any of the proposal process. So there are people in that category as well. So whichever those categories you're in, there is a spot for you in the VIP day world. So how do you figure out what it is to sell? Is that tip number 2, or is that kind of still?
That's really getting into what your pricing is going to be. But I think
Okay.
that, just to recap a little bit of what you're saying, it sounds like lots of different types of businesses can offer some sort of VIP day, that it can be a bridge between you maybe going from a group model to a course and giving you a way to sort of practice. I think it's been an excellent bridge for me to practice other ways of working with clients after I've done initial branding. It's been excellent for me. I'm working on kind of behind the scenes of what I call packaging your process. And that's what I think is going to outgrow from my current VIP day, which is much more any sort of business or branding bottleneck, but really getting what I've learned from having done, I should count them 20 or 30 of those days with clients over the past few years, is really realizing, seeing where the threads are and where the common problems are. And so doing it and practicing it, I think, I love that you brought that up, because I think VIP days are, not only are they a profitable option for you because it's a 1 day thing, you can charge more because people are valuing the time
Yeah.
exchange and the value exchange more than the money, right? So you can charge more for a premium result, but you can get it done more efficiently with, like you said, without the hours spent on the proposal and things like that. So constantly moving to a better result, the better the result, the bigger the transformation, the more you can charge for it, because the more it's worth. The end result is worth to a client. So I love them. And I love that you've sort of given us lots of different ways to think about how that could be. You pointed out that your days are 7 to 8 hours. My days are 2 2-hour sessions, and many of my clients opt to do them like two mornings together. They don't even have to literally be on the same day. In like a coaching, for instance, or with my design days, I wasn't even meeting with the client, but like for maybe half an hour, like a 15-minute check-in call, a 15-minute at the end, that kind of thing. I was working and I wasn't with them. So VIP days can look a lot of different ways. And I think that's a great way to think about getting started. Like, could it fill a gap for you? Could it help you transition from one-to-one to group, or vice versa, that sort of thing. So that was sort of where do we start, how to figure out if VIP days are right for you. In most cases, they might be, it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, they are probably going to work for you. There's very few people who just have tried it and it really just did not work for them. But there's so many great different ways that you can do it. And I think the big takeaway from that first tip is that you don't have to have it all figured out in order to get started. You just have to kind of see a thread there somewhere, whether it's going to help you get more work done in less time, whether it's going to help you get clarity on your framework and the transformation that you provide, or whether it's just a timing thing and it just works better for your clients to have it all done at once versus spreading it out over an extended period of time. So that leads us into pricing.
Yeah. So our second tip. So if our first tip was figure out if VIP days are going to be right for you, what is the second thing we should consider?
So pricing, and I know we're talking a lot about it being a premium offer, a premium service. You can charge a lot for your VIP days. I was charging $3,000 for a design day. I'm now charging $5,000 for VIP day consulting days. It's kind of meta, like a VIP day to teach you
right
VIP
about
days.
VIP days. It's like a Russian doll, right?
But you can charge, there's all different prices. Some people charge $15,000 for a VIP day, while other people are charging $1,000. So the price can really fluctuate. But what I have noticed is that a lot of people come into VIP days thinking they need to be charging these high premium rates, and they struggle with selling their VIP days even at that like $2,000 rate. And it's because they've never done one before and they don't have the confidence in what they can get done in a day because they've never practiced it. So I highly recommend you come in at a lower price point just for your first few. Like, come in. I mean, if you're just like, I have no idea what to charge $1,000, like charge $1,000 for the first 3 clients that agree to kind of be a test VIP day. Be transparent. Let them know, like, this is a brand new offer. You're testing it out. You're fine tuning your systems, and you would love to work with them for a day at this low, very limited time price. So you can start there. And by doing it this way, you're going to get clients in the door faster. You're going to experience the thrill of a VIP day a lot faster, and you're going to increase your confidence in the process. Because if you just price them high and nobody buys them, then you're just kind of stuck sitting there like with that lack of confidence, not really knowing if it's going to work. So try it out with that low. And then this also gives you leverage for slowly and incrementally raising your prices over time. I started at $500, the first one I did. And then the last design day I did was $3,000. And now I have the confidence to say I can charge $5,000 for a day of my time. But that didn't happen overnight. It happened.
Well, you have the experience, right? And the credibility and the referrals and the interest and the value that you're delivering from the expertise. So it's not even just like, I can do this. It's, I'm really glad that you brought up confidence, because one of the things I keep repeating that I almost wish I put in my book that came out in March is that so much of business is behavior. And so if you are not confident in anything you're selling, people pick up on that, right? If people are kind of like, and I almost torpedo my whole business by not being confident in sales conversations, because I'd be like, well, you can work with me or you can do it yourself. I just believe in you. Like, I just was not like owning it. So I think that has so much to do with it. And I love that you've given sort of this bridge strategy of, you can get to the higher value thing, but get those first few folks in the door. And I did a similar thing to give some color to that. Like when I first launched what I called Magic Marketing Days, that was my add-on to, hey, did you have a couple of projects come up since our branding and you want to get these projects done? I launched them for like $950. And I gave a deal where it was like a deposit. So you could do a deposit and a balance payment, and that helped make it affordable. And I booked, I think, like 6 of them just from sending emails about them. And they were clients I'd already worked with. They knew they could get stuff right away. And then I raised that rate over time, right? With experience. And as I learned what the value was and how I got better at delivering a result. And you said this, but I also want to call out one of the biggest things I teach in business coaching. My number one profitability tip that I think plays really well into this: track your time. Like, go ahead, and that's a great way to get started along with this stuff for VIP days. You should know how long it takes you to do certain things, especially your client work in this case, right? So I was able to create a magic marketing day where I would say, hey, I can do 2 to 3 big projects or a handful of small ones. And I'd have a list of example projects to say, but I knew how long it would take me to do a PowerPoint deck versus a PDF layout or whatever, because I'd done them enough that I knew how long it took. So I think knowing your time can help you right size your VIP day so you can get the transformation you want and the amount of time you want to be working and what you want to be charging for your time as well, right?
Right. Yeah, I always tell everyone, if you're thinking about VIP days, maybe you're not ready to pitch your offer just yet. Don't wait too long, because we can get so stuck in that procrastination and perfection and trying to make sure we have it all figured out, which is absolutely the opposite of what you want to do. But the very first thing that you should do, like you said, is look at what you are doing and like start today. Start tracking how long it's taking you to complete certain tasks or projects for your clients. How long are you spending going back and forth in emails and waiting on things? And if all of that waiting time was gone and you weren't wasting time jumping from one project to the next, because that was me. I used to work on like 6 clients in one day, and it would be like jumping from one to the next to the next to the next, in and out of my inbox with all of these clients. And
Yeah, it's not
so
productive, right?
yeah, like that whole
multitasking.
multitasking thing is not the right way to do it. But yeah, when you strip out all of that admin stuff and you just look at the time spent on the actual work, it's really amazing how much you can get done in a day.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's such a great thing. I think it's also some permission too, as we've been talking, that your VIP day might not look like your signature service. Like my signature service still takes 14 weeks to do, right? I can't do that in a day, but I can do elements of it enough to bust a bottleneck, to be more clear about what you're saying you do and what you want to be doing in your business. So you can right size things. You don't have to like shove everything you're known for into a day, or even do like, I don't do branding in a day because I don't believe branding in the way I do it can be done in a day. I think you need more time to think about it. Right. So I think there's just a lot of permission around that, but I love that you've kind of given this structure and some flexibility to it. So
Yeah.
the other thing I just do want to call out, because it's branding with friends, is I think there's also value in how you present it. And how you brand it. So maybe not, you can get started calling it a VIP day, but name it after a result, right? So like I'm working toward a package or process day, for example, a magic strategy day. What is that result that somebody is looking for, that transformation? How can you brand it? Can you have a logo for it? Fonts, colors, things that tie back into your overarching brand. So it really feels like a premium thing that they are investing in versus just maybe something you came up with off the top of your head. Though many things begin in business that way. There's something about when you have it branded, when you really put it out there as something finesse, that it feels like a very worthy experience of investment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, just giving it like that kind of exclusive name. A lot of people get worried about calling it a VIP day because maybe it does take 2 days, maybe it takes a week, and so it's like it can be a VIP experience. One of my clients calls hers a brand expansion experience, and so she's not doing the brand in the day, like you said. Like the branding process takes weeks to do, but she does have clients to come back and hire her for a brand expansion day. And that's like if they're maybe creating a course and they need the assets to go with their course. And so she'll spend a day doing like the sub branding for that course or whatever. So yeah, think about like expansion is just a really great word. Just think about those like kind of magical words that kind of evoke that premium feeling, whether it's an experience or intensive. I mean, some people also say intensive stresses them out. And
I
so
would say, I'm like, I've come
don't use
around
it.
to that intensive feels intense. Like a lot of
Yeah.
my clients, I think, can feel intimidated by technology, by branding, by how
Mhm.
complicated all this gets. And I used to call them intensives or like refer to, I'm like, who wants to do an intensive? Like nobody wants intensive. They
Yeah.
want something that's gonna make life easier for them. That's
Yeah.
gonna make their business easier to run and more enjoyable. So I'm
Mhm.
all for that.
Yeah.
So we've been sharing, you brought along 2 great tips and we've had a lot of discussion around them. Figure out if VIP days could be right for your business, determine where you're going to start with VIP day pricing. I know we've got one more great tip to really pull it all together and get you selling a VIP day if you're interested in doing that. But I know that you brought something along for our listeners. What is that? How can our audience learn a little bit more about you and get something from you?
Yeah. So I created, after being asked about this over and over and over again, of course, I do have my signature course and I have like all of that stuff. But for people just getting started, trying to figure out if this is even going to work for you, I have a pretty comprehensive checklist. It's called the Ultimate VIP Day Checklist. And it's 15 like bullet points that are pretty descriptive for you to kind of figure out, do I have this? Do I have this? It's like all the things that you need to have in place in order to have success with this model. Things like SOPs, a booking system, your contracts, your pricing strategy, all of that. So that's all in the checklist. And the link is, I think you have the link.
We'll put it in the notes. So anywhere
Okay,
you're
great.
watching or listening to Branding with Friends, you're going to see a link to Sarah's Ultimate VIPD checklist. And I'm going to go check it out as soon as this is over, because I know I can even learn things having been doing VIP days in some form for several years. So thank you for sharing that. And be sure to check it out if you want to connect more with Sarah. All her information will also be here in the episode, so you can follow her, connect with her, learn some day rate mastery from her. And if today got you thinking, man, I need to be clearer, more consistent with my branding, I would like to have that logo, that look for how I'm going to position my VIP day and package my services and on a value ladder. I do this through branding services and business coaching. So you can always grab a free consult with me, hop on my calendar at greateststorycreative.com. Sarah, I'm so glad you've been here. We've just talked about how to figure out if they're right for you, how to price them. What's that third thing we want to keep in mind about getting started with VIP days?
Okay, yeah. So my biggest tip for marketing is that social proof sells. Social proof is my hands down number one way to sell anything that you're trying to sell. So that's how it really got started for me. As when you're just getting started, maybe you don't have an example of something that you've done in a day because you have never done one. But that's why it's so important to get those first few clients in at a really like no brainer price, so that you can deliver them with like an amazing experience and get their feedback. So not only can you ask them for a testimonial, but you can also screenshot their comments. Like what I have found is like working, my VIP days are not face to face. They are me working behind the scenes, doing a lot of work, sending things over to them via like Messenger and saying, what do you think about this? How does this look? Kind of thing. And then their responses are typically, I love it. It's so good. Oh my gosh, you're so fast. And it's just screenshot as much as you can, their positive reactions, and then go head over to social media or your email list and share what you've just done. Share those screenshots. Of course, you can block out their names, but like let people know that what you're doing in a day is really worth their time and attention and paying attention to it, because that's really how I was able to kind of like just kind of blow up with this whole VIP day thing. Was I would do one, I would share it, I would get more clients, then I would do a couple more, share, get more clients, and the clients just kind of kept coming in when they would see the results that we were getting for other people in just one day.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, don't keep it a secret, right? And I think the tip that I wish I'd known earlier in my business, but I've been doing since 2020, is just what you talked about with the screenshot. So
Yeah.
learn on your phone how to like take a snapshot of emails and those sorts of things. So I've just been keeping a photo album I have an Apple phone, so I just keep it in like an iPhoto album. And
Yep.
literally, I was in a call last week with my virtual assistant. She keeps me on the straight and narrow because I always want to create all these things. And I meet with her every week. I'm like, oh, I really want to create content around my book and around my business with all this social proof. I have all these albums. Tell you what, let's 10 minutes. And I wrote Mad Libs. So I gave her like different options to write captions relating to what was ever in the screenshot. And I literally just uploaded this. I had like 150 screenshots or something
Yeah.
over the years of just emails and just like you were describing. And she's working to put them in Canva and put them in a social media tool. And I don't have to touch it. I can totally delegate it. So
Yeah.
in like 10, 15 minutes, because I've just been doing this as a habit, I'm going to have content for like a year, 2 years. So like, if you ever
Mhm.
watch my social media content, you're going to start to see this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't have to do it. It's so like,
That's so smart. Yeah,
right.
I have all the screenshots and all the folders on my phone, on my in my Slack, and it's like I'm always like kind of grabbing them and putting them in here and there, plug them into some emails, put them on a sales page, just put them everywhere.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can cross off their names, or even better is you can have a contract with your clients that allows you to use their names, and then you can share that.
Right. And I think a lot of folks here are like coaches and they worry about,
Privacy.
NDA and that sort of thing. So I think being able to like, you can gray out pictures, you can close, but we are all seeing this as consumers. So, it's also, I think, a really great tool to be sharing and screenshotting that to like for yourself in terms coming back to businesses behavior and businesses confidence. Right.
Yeah.
And I talk in my book about like courageous confidence and like having that photo, that album on your phone when you're having a rough day, like flipping through it and going, you know what? I do have value. I'm on the right track. I'm figuring this out. Can be just such a great tool for any solopreneur kind of business owner like you. Or I don't know. I don't assume that you are a solopreneur anymore, but I am
Yeah.
to no small extent. So thank you so much for sharing that. So we need to, figuring out if this is the right fit for us, where to start with pricing, and then really giving that almost anybody can have social proof. So I love it's not all about social media, but about social proof. So thank you for giving us that way to get started. And I think we can't wait to hear what Branding with Friends folks, what you guys are going to do, what VIP days you're going to create, and what results you're going to get for your clients. So let us know if you're following us or you email us. We'd love to hear. And I hope that you enjoyed yet another episode of Branding with Friends. My many thanks to our special guest, Sarah Masci, or Masci.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'll butcher Annie Franceschi. I'll just do that way. Sarah Masci. Tune in next time when we'll tackle another topic where branding meets business. Until then, I'm Annie Franceschi of Greatest Story Creative. You can find all our episodes, branding resources, and so much more on our website, greateststorycreative.com. Stay awesome, everybody, and thank you so much.
Bye.